It's Wednesday morning, back on scene at the log home for this decorative rock installation. It was a little chilly this morning, about 17 degrees, but it's warmed up. Since then, it's about 28 now. Nice and sunny out, obviously. But yeah, we got the wheelbarrows in the back, wheelbarrow back here, and the stone came, but guess what? It was wrong product. So had to send the truck back for them to get the correct product. We're supposed to be getting some softball size stone, not little golf ball size. So whatever. We got plenty of fabric, plenty more prepping to do, and the stone will be here within another hour or so, and we'll start stoning stuff. Let's get some footage for you guys. First thing we're gonna have to do is prep the sidewalk on this side. I'll do a little bit of prepping here, and I'll show you real quick. Dalton's gonna have to get around the foundation here. Got holes and stuff, and we need to have this grade against the rock face nice and flat. Oh, good. So step one, we come across this walkway. Always go around the edge of your walkways and make sure that dirt level is at least 2 inches below the grade of the concrete surface. Doing this step right here will ensure that the stones stay in place up against that raised surface of the concrete and not spill over into the walkway over time. It's an important step. We do this when we mulch and when we stone. Alright? Any kind of surface like this, sidewalks, patios, walkways, make sure it's done. Make sure it's done right. Come down here, I'll show you another important step to do before you throw fabric down is get all the debris, the weeds, the buildup of dead droppings, leaves, needles over the last couple of years that are built up around the base of these plants. Pull all that stuff away and get rid of it, because you want that fabric to be able to snug up in there nice and tight. Alright? Now, some jobs you'll prep the beds with a edging spade and you'll put a nice deep edge on it. Some jobs you'll just use a weed eater to put a nice crisp edge on it. Alright, all depends on what you're trying to accomplish and what product you're putting down and how you're keeping it all in the border. Dalton's throwing down this preen that we talked about last video. Creates a nice barrier for the weeds. You know, you just throw this product down on top of the dirt, then you throw your fabric down on top of it. The moisture, there will be moisture there, alright? It'll all dissipate into that product. That product will form a barrier. Lasts about 3 months. Some of them is 6 months. Does a good job. Definitely recommend it for flower beds. So this fabric here, like I said last video, these green lines on the black fabric represent 1 foot. I had already measured off 3 feet on this front and 6 feet on this back bed. So, making some slits here. Boom, throw it in the back real quick. You saw me do all that cutting and measuring up front, not back here. That's just too much of a headache and a hassle trying to monkey fabric around and cut it and conform it to your shape when you're all between bushes and a wall. It's not hard. Think about what you're doing, lay it out, look where the bushes are, put those slits in there, slide it on up. Boom. So Dalton's gonna come back through, pin everything up for us, get it all secured to the ground. We're ready to roll. Look how nice and tight that is up those bushes. Good coverage, nice and easy. The stone has arrived. So we get some footage of it falling out of the dump truck. Ew. Alright, so remember, the first load got sent back because it was the wrong product. And these were only golf ball size stones that showed up the first time. Open this back gate, see the size difference. Then we're going to drop this load and let you hear the weight hit the ground. Yeah, then you can shake your head what we're getting ready to get into here. That's a lot of weight. Hey, I think we got our border piece.
There's plenty of them.
Yeah. That'll work out good.
You realize we can't shovel a single one of these, right?
Yeah, I know. There we have it. 8 tons of big stone. Are we ready to do this?
Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
This is just the first load, guys. Pretty sure it's gonna be 16 tons altogether. Hey, nothing to it but to do it, right? All right. So, the delivery fee per load is $100. This stone that we have here is $100 per ton. You can do the math. $900 just got dropped off. So here we go, getting into it, getting it done little by little. This is just the beginning, so you got to be mentally prepared. After this first load, there's going to be a whole nother load. All about the mindset you start these jobs out in and continue to wake up every morning. Even though you're exhausted, you're tired, you still got to be in a good mindset. The job's got to get done whether you're happy or not. Check this out. It's about 3:30. Just got back from lunch. We're making a dent in the pile, right, Dalton?
Huh?
Making a dent in the pile?
Yeah, a little bit on this side.
Yeah, a little bit. See? Chiseling away, little by little. Let me show you this bed real quick. Yeah, nice and smooth. Got it precise when you put this stuff down. Those larger rocks on the border really turned out nice and tight looking too. Hey, before this job is done, all that dirt in front of that line right there, we're gonna have some fresh gravel to throw down, dress it all up nice. Good stuff. Loving the look of it. I think it turned out real good. Yeah, we'll just keep on rolling down here. Hopefully we'll get down to the bottom of that wall down there by 5. Right? And yeah. Hand touching every single rock on this job. Almost twice. Almost twice. That's right. No shovels allowed. Not dealing with these stones. If you've ever had to move extra large size Tennessee stone, you're not going to want to use a shovel. Your elbows, your back, everything will be killing you within the first hour. Working with my wife, we discovered this was the best means and method when you don't have a big piece of equipment. And to be honest with you guys, if I had a big piece of equipment on this job, jumping these stones right here, the ground is so wet because we had the 8 days of snow, I would have torn this yard to pieces, and it would have been a bad deal. Whole lot of extra work involved cleaning the place up. So yeah, each and every stone hand loaded into the wheelbarrow, dumped in the bed, and then they're touched again one by one, as you'll see in the footage coming up, to get that nice perfect appearance, because this is a permanent landscape install. It's only gonna get done once. It's not a cheap investment, but if you think about mulching this place every single year for the next 10 years, this is definitely the way to go. And by the time we're done with the day, you'll see exactly why I recommended it. One other reason that I do not recommend mulch on plenty of homes is because the mulch can bring in termites. Whether you want to hear that truth or not, mulch does bring in termites, bugs. They come from trees, they get chopped up, the eggs survive the chopping process. It can happen. Now, in my 30 years of doing this, have I seen major damage and crazy infestations? No, nothing like that. I wouldn't install any mulch if that was the case. But it does happen, and the clients need to be aware of the situation. And hey, it's always up to the client what they want. It's up to you to sell them the best investment for their money. So here you can see an example of the madness that's going on. Each rock is strategically placed to make coverage at the maximum, because you don't want to overlay rocks needlessly. This product is expensive, and you do not want to waste it. Alright? When I measured this job out, it was for a certain depth, for a certain product, and a certain square footage. Okay? So it's up to me to make sure that all this is going to work correctly. I lay down the larger stones first to make the coverage flat on the surface and take up as much surface space as possible. And then when I'm moving all the big rocks out of that pile we dumped, it leaves all the small stuff. Then you just grab the small stuff that's left over, throw it on top of the big ones. It all falls into place pretty good and pretty easy. These border pieces, yeah, I'm really liking the border pieces. I really wasn't 100% sure how I was going to go out keeping all these rocks in place and in check and staying in the bed. But I was thinking, I've used metal stripping in the past. Completely do not like metal stripping at all. I will not use it anymore. After I did a few jobs, came back, looked at them a year or two later, was not happy with the performance of the metal stripping edges. Could have dug down and made a deep edge with a, edging machine. But you got propane lines, electrical lines, cable lines, And honestly, you're in the mountains here. You're going to run into some things you were not anticipating running into. So hey, we went ahead and did these large stones as the border. And I must say, I'm loving the way it looks. Dalton's been working hard. He doesn't complain, man. He just comes out here and does it. He's learning real quick about life and what's important. It's not about loving every single minute of your workday. It's about getting everything accomplished and getting that money at the end of the day. So we'll pan right here, show you the nice flat, easy section that we just accomplished. Now we're going to hit this hillside to the left, going straight down. So while I'm loading this stone up now, I'm trying to think of the best way to attack that hill. Usually you start from the bottom and work your way up. I don't feel like going to the bottom today. It's wet. The sections up here at the house that we already did, those are looking nice. Yeah, I know you've looked at it already a couple times. Really am happy the way this is turning out. Way above my expectations on the final look, especially with these big border pieces in place. So like I said, we move all these stones by hand, and especially around these AC units. You have to have full, complete coverage, and you got to get behind them as well. So slightly tedious, a little bit time consuming, and definitely backbreaking after a couple hours worth. Oh yeah, did you see that right there? Started using my brain. I don't know if you saw it or not, but I'll show you another angle of it, and then I'll see if you agree with my method here. Boom. Had that extra roll of fabric. Anything that does slide down will stop right there at the bottom of the wall, in the bed, and I won't be chasing it downhill to the fence line.
Time is it? Time to go.
Time to go. Just
Leave it. I'll take the tarp. You want me to?
Yeah, it's definitely about that time. Time to go. I don't think I'm going to put any more wheelbarrows down today, but at least that roll of fabric is down there and ready for tomorrow morning when we come back and start dumping some more piles. Love this property. Love the mountains I live in. Love the world that God made for us all to enjoy. Make sure you take time and appreciate His world that He gave you. Boom, look at that pile. Whoop, whoop. Getting smaller. Well, that was a pretty good day, right? Got a lot accomplished. Even with that little mishap with the wrong product this morning being delivered. Hey, if you learn one thing from that, always be sure to be on site when you're getting deliveries. If we hadn't been here on time, that load would have been dumped on site, and I would have been stuck with 8 tons of stone that I didn't need. So, made good progress on that pile, and as you can see, looking good. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Peace.